We're going to go live here.
Okay.
I think we're live. Welcome. Welcome.
Live on YouTube.
Welcome to everyone in the chat. JLM channel. Who else we got?
Frank's here. Singletown Bachelor.
Megatron. Singletown. I like Singletown stuff.
Yeah.
I'm back. And MGTOW is back. Well, listen, we're excited. Father Saunders will be joining us shortly here. And we're excited to come version 2.0 since our first time, a year and 3 months ago, our Halloween horror stories back in 21. And we're back to see how life is for everybody and discuss with you guys certain topics. What do you think, Dak?
A whole year later. What's happened in 1 year?
So any updates on let's see, we've got 5 Years of Freedom is out in the chat.
There he is. Hey, Wes.
All right.
Should be a bunch coming. I mean, I was on Hamster Stream. I put a link in Hamster Stream. I put a link in Good Mother Stream. I put a link, I forget, in someone else's stream. So
we'll get going. Any updates, any announcements we want to make right now?
I don't know. Let's see how many we got in here. 15. Well, we'll wait for that one about the trolling deal. The trolling deal. But I'll make a quick announcement about my channel. As of this tomorrow, Monday, I'm going to kind of be taking a little bit of a break, guys. I'm going to start because it's spring here in Alberta, Canada. So we're getting some warm weather. So this allows me to get out there and start taking care of my health, start losing some weight, stuff like that. So I won't be uploading every day like I did, but I'll definitely be taking you guys along for the ride. Like, you know, when I'm out in the garage or if I'm going for a walk. I got a selfie stick now, so I'll take you guys along there. We're restoring that 1940 John Deere, so I'll take you guys with me when we're doing that kind of stuff. But the shorts every day are unfortunately going to come to an end for now, but not to a total end. I might drop one a week or something like that. But yeah, I'm just going to take a little bit of time out here, guys, and take care of myself.
Awesome. Yeah, we're glad you're definitely out of that medical challenge a couple months back. So you got JR, PH from Europe, Tom. Well, let's talk about something that's important, right? Any updates since the last year and a half with you, Dak? Any insights into this world that we are a part of?
Just, how can I say this? I don't know, like just this social media just seems to be just taking over women so bad. Like just unbelievable what I see. Like a quick story of my brother-in-law, actually his brother, married to this girl for a year. She's constantly stuck on her phone, and all of a sudden she looks to the guy and says, I need some space. So this guy can't believe it, and everybody in the chat knows what it means when she says she needs some space. It's basically over. She's done. It's done, right?
Right.
So, you know, and she just constantly on what do you call it? What do you call that? I don't know, those social media sites. I'm drawing a blank here. Instagram, Insta Smash, stuff like that. And they're just gone. Like they just leave. This is unbelievable. Another friend of mine, married for 1 year, gone. She needs some space. She's gone. It's just, I don't know. In the last year, it just seems to me it's gotten worse. Like the
social media
commitments, you know.
Yeah, social media is the downfall of relationships. It's the downfall of family. It's the downfall of society. It's as simple as that. It creates anxiety. It creates depression. It creates angry simps that go crazy and then take action against others. It's disgusting.
Yeah, definitely. And you see it all too. Like, and then I forget who commented the other day. They said 9 out of 10 relationships will fail. And I totally agree with that, because if you guys look at the marriage rates right now, If you guys look at like diamond sales right now, and especially if you look at the birth rates right now, yeah, 9 out of 10 are failing, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
The only ones who are kind of really making it, in my opinion, because like I'm in Alberta, Canada, right, Edmonton. So there's a big Muslim people here, right? They're making it. You know what I mean? Like they're having lots of kids, and their wives are all at home, and doing what they're supposed to do, and you know what I mean? They kind of got it made.
Well, that's the thing, and that's you see a lot of folks that talk about, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go over the border. I'm going to go to the Philippines. I'm going to find me a lady because over there they love men. They love their part in the family order, but they're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
As I've always said, I think you've said, social media has destroyed loyalty. It's destroyed, masculinity. It's destroyed femininity. It's created a platform where literally men and women are becoming delusional. And so people say, oh, but I found someone, it's going to work out. No, those days are gone, folks.
That's why I kind of, and don't get me wrong, I don't have any issues with the passport bros at all, whatsoever. I truly don't. But you know what I mean? Female behavior is universal. You know what I mean? I don't know.
There's you can't. It's everywhere. It's male nature is the same, and simp nature. We should start a subreddit called simp.
Yeah, simp nature, and do examples on how to simp. Yeah, that'd be good. That's a good idea.
I just saw a guy
That's a good idea.
Some guy spent $10,000 on an OnlyFans. He got to give her a hug, and then the gal met him somewhere, gave him a hug, and then she went off with the boyfriend. Like all the simps' money and 10 grand, and it's nuts, right?
Exactly. Hey, Travis Shine Customs in here, unvaccinated MGTOW. Tom's the Wonderful. Who else we got that snuck in here? There's Indy. Guess who's emailing me right now? Hamster. Wolfgang Sigma, how's it going? Chris Mitchell's in the house. I think I've just about got every. Hope I haven't forgotten anybody. Yeah. McTowski, hey brother. Just give me a sec, Rad. Just one quick announcement. JLM, I saw and heard about Dick Marks. I saw that video. Very sad what happened to him. I guess he got hit by a car. I don't know the full story, but yeah, JLM, I thought I'd just give that a quick shout out for you because I know you're a friend of his or whatever. You know you're concerned about him, so I will just shout that out. That our brother Dick Marks is in hospital, and I don't think he's doing too well. The last time I saw him, anyway. AZ's here. George P. John Boston, how you doing? Slam Cave, there's the man. There he is. I like his stuff, Rad?
Yeah, he's definitely
okay. There we go. Yeah, we got a full house, man. We got 42 now. Right on.
Let's take a quick comment here from PH. Open, unapologetic feminism is now prevalent. No attempt to even hide it in personal or work lives of women. Well, it's transparent. I shared a story about a guy I knew who came home from work and he found his wife in bed with his best friend.
Wow.
And the woman said, she didn't like jump off or, freak out. She just said, "Can I get any privacy around here? Can I get any privacy around here?"
Oh, wow.
Not even acknowledging what she was doing was completely disloyal. "Can I get any privacy from you?"
Wow.
That's what the transparency is in plain sight. I mean,
unbelievable.
I like to watch these YouTube shorts and these quick little videos that interview women. There's one that always interviews women. "How tall are you?" "Oh, I'm 5'7". "How much you weigh?" "I'm shorter." And she's like, "Would you date?" He's like, "Would you date me?" And she says, "No, you're too short." And it's just a transparent with everything, right? You cannot. The standards are just too high.
Oh yeah. Well, they'll never find what they're looking for ever, and when they do, it'll turn out to be a Chad or Tyrone, and they're just gonna break their backs and send them on their way,
right?
And then that that affects them horribly. So now we need the, now we need now we need the antidepressants. Now we need the Lexapro. Now we need the therapy, right? It's all brought in by themselves. Hey, MGTOW forever.
There's MGTOW forever. Well, that's the thing. I mean, how are we going to change? People always say, but what if there's this world war, this gigantic calamity, and women are going to just run back to the plantation and be the co-pilots and be these submissive women from the 50s? I completely disagree with that. The programming has been set in stone since the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And you're not getting away from that.
No.
Let's see. George P's got a question.
What does he say?
What can be done with a woman that you really want but doesn't text or call you? I would say nothing.
She's okay, George. If she's not texting or calling you, she's not interested, bro.
Right.
She's not interested. I hate to tell you this, but I've had that happen too, man, and it hurts like hell. But she's not interested. And be careful. Be very careful. And keeping contacting with them too. Like, you could be looking at a harassment charge if you keep it up.
Yep, absolutely. The saddest.
Don't trust them. I did 5 months in jail on a false harassment charge, so be very careful.
Yeah, but you were falsely allegatored, and you decided instead of fighting and spending money and all of the trauma, you would just take the shaft and go for it.
Yeah, I took the shit because in Canada, I could have sat in jail for another 6 months waiting for a trial. That's where they kind of got you here. Like, our justice system is like shittier than yours, man. Like, it's really bad. So I just took the deal, right? Plead guilty and take the deal. And I was out in 2 weeks. If I would have said, no, I want a trial, I could have sat in there for 6 months, another 6 months waiting for one. So what are you going to do?
And you'd have all the costs of a lawyer and just say, screw it.
Yeah.
This is where men are today. Men are, and I say that to guys that have never been married or lived with a woman or been through the family courts or had kids. You have no idea what's on the opposite side of the fantasy that you want right now. You have no idea.
No, none at all. No, it all looks good on top. It really does.
Let's talk about something. We have ladies that come to our chats. We mingle with different ladies in our life, whether it be work or neighbors or so forth, mothers, sisters. What are your thoughts on these red pill women that are invading? I would say getting into the space and have hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah, this isn't right, guys. This is horrible because what they've done is they've taken all our talking points, like from old school MGTOWs, TFM, Sandman, Hammerhand, even yourself, Rad. They've taken talking points from us and they're just regurgitating what we've said. And since they're women and pretty good looking, they are making hand over fist. They're monetized. They're making hand over fist. And they have, 200,000-300,000 subs. So it's another problem in here, big problem. But I don't know if there's not a lot we can do about it, really.
What's up, Father? Talk to us.
Hey guys, how you doing? Sorry I'm late. I had to get some last minute shit done that I couldn't wait. But I'm glad I was able to make it on time.
What's that on your chin?
Oh.
Oh, look at that.
Go ahead and give me a mic like Hammer, and I'll do some of that freaking beard scratchy stuff because I know you guys love it.
Nice.
I decided to start growing it out. I don't know how long it's going to be. And yes, fuck you guys. It looks like a Jack Murphy thing. I can't help it. It's got these two colors right here. And then
look at me.
Yeah, man. That was not on purpose. Let me tell you.
What's new with you, Father? What?
Hey, I have some good news. Last night, I probably got way too tore up on Discord. Whoever was on Discord last night, I was pretty tore up. We had a great time. But before that, I took my oldest son, Sage, to his first live boxing.
Nice.
Whatever you want to call it, boxing endeavor.
Nice.
We went to the fairgrounds at the town that's closest to me.
Cool.
And we got to watch 5 bouts. And one of the bouts that I didn't know what was going to be there is one of the kids that we actually train with when we go train where we train at boxing. I was just like, holy shit, we train with him. Hey, man. I'm not going to say his name, but it was really cool to see that, in real time. And
Cool.
I'm just happy to say that my son had an absolute blast. And I was trying to teach him about, little things because obviously I'm not a professional boxer, but I know a little bit. About the mindset, about here's where you got to stay calm. Here's where you're going to take that standing 8 and breathe, get your shit back. The crowd's going to be going wild. You think that you're losing. And all of these things are running through your head. And I said, also, whenever someone has a fight that day, you do everything you can. Don't text them. Don't call them. Their mind is in an area that cannot be interrupted, period.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. I'm not saying every fighter's like that, but you can almost see it in their eyes. Like, don't fucking bother me. Don't get in my way. Like, I'm focused. We're going to do this.
Definitely.
So the whole thing was sold out. I don't know why they didn't use the bigger building, but they had like, I'd call it like a half horseshoe, or I'm sorry, a horseshoe of tables that were up front that you had to pay more for. And you had kind of a bleacher stand thing in the back. And there was not one person that didn't have a seat. There's people standing around just trying to watch. So it was a great time.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. That's awesome.
I'm sorry, kind of went off on a little bit there, but
No,
it's a beautiful day today too, guys. Rad, Dak. It's like 58 degrees outside, not a cloud in the sky, no wind. It feels it's absolutely amazing.
I'm coming to Nebraska.
If I was to tell you my favorite temperature, to be honest, guys, I'd probably have to say like outside between 65 and 70. I would just be
same here.
Perfect.
Hey man, I forgot to say Reverend 20 Pieces here. I forgot to say hi, Rev. He's coming to Canada, I hope.
We got some more Dave Castro, managed Roy from Mumbai, DK Spike. So we were just talking about women in the red pill space, Father.
So before we do that, Rad, I'm going to cut in 1 second. If you don't mind, since we got 61 in the house, sure. I'll make this announcement would probably be good. First of all, do you guys hit the likes? Hit them. Second of all, guys, in the chat, everybody, there are some clone accounts going around. There are some people that are making clone accounts, so they look exactly like me. The wording, the lettering, the avatar is exactly like me, okay? So really watch if these people are saying something weird. Now, the way to find out if the account is real, you click on the avatar. Click on the avatar, and that'll bring up how many subs the person has and when the account was made. Now, obviously, if the account was made 2 weeks ago and it's got 2 subs, it's not me, okay? So they have been raising all hell in here for me, for a couple other guys, stuff like that. So be wary of it, guys. Mods, if you see it in the chat, automatically ban them from the channel right now. What else can I say? If there's other content creators in here, there's a bunch of us, Frank, a whole bunch of us in here. Ban them from your channel, guys, because that takes away their stage. If you take away their stage, they're gonna go away. So just beware, guys. Keep your eyes open. If you see me saying some fucked up shit, it's probably not me.
And I wanted to let you guys know, Dak's right. This used to happen way back during a very popular YouTuber who's dead now, bodybuilder Rich Piana.
Oh yeah.
The only way that I could tell it wasn't him was by clicking on the avatar, because if you do, it shows the subs, and if they got maybe 100, 50, not there's anything wrong with that. It's not the person they're trying to portray. That's the best way to look at it. And my bad if this light above me washes me out, guys, but it's too dark if I shut it off.
It's okay. And one last thing, I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to call out one guy. I'm going to call out a guy named Truth Seeker. This guy is in our MGTOW space, raising all hell, with everybody. Truth Seeker, the Bushido Code or something like that. He really started shit with me today. I invited him to a live stream, but of course there's no response because he never will, right? So if you ever seen a guy named Truth Seeker around, block him. Get him out of here. That's all I got.
Well, one good thing about these trolls is the message is getting out, right? Yeah. And it's affecting the folks. Yeah. So it's actually a good thing, even though they're dipshits.
Yeah, but we're all aware. And this MGTOW community, everybody's very, very highly intelligent. So, I'm not too worried about it, right? So, but just just be just be aware, guys, that we got to get these guys out of here, because what their goal is to try to make us fight with each other. And they've just about done that a few times with a few guys. So that's their goal. And yeah, we got to stop them in their tracks.
Well, the message of what we're trying to do which is really spread the freedom for males to just understand the life that they deal with when it comes to female nature. And a lot of these guys, they can't handle the fact that men are choosing to steer their own life while they are still living in the fantasy that some woman is going to make them a husband.
Exactly. And you know what, Saunders, you could probably chime in on this. Why do they do that? Like, why do they hate the fact of being free? I don't get it.
I don't think I have a good. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I have an idea about that.
Okay, go ahead.
You take cults, like cults, right? The Jim Jones cult or these Haley Comet cults. What they do is the membership. If you try to get out of the cult, they will troll you, right? They will attack you. They will stalk you, because if somebody leaves that way of thinking, it threatens their way of thinking, right? It's like the mentality thinking, oh my gosh, he's left us. He knows something that we don't know. And it's gonna cause us to think about maybe we should go that route, right? Yeah. And so the more, it's like anything, a hive mind binds together, right? Misery loves company. It's the whole deal that we've got to get all of our brothers back. They just need game and frame, and then they'll understand how to deal with women. They'll have a happy life.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I just can't figure it out. But we're hated for it, even by women.
Well, it's crazy that we live in a world where a man can be a woman better than a woman can be a woman. Yeah. It's the craziest freaking thing ever. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I did.
Some of those new beauty pageants and whatnot. I'm like, how is that possible? And another thing, guys, I know it's commonplace, but I don't say biological male, because there's no such thing as a non-biological male. So just say it's a fucking man. It's a man. Okay? It's a woman. It's a man. It's not a biological man. There is no non-biological man. Stop it.
Or a cis? I'm a cis. Or what the hell is a cis?
Yeah. You mean I'm going to take that as you mean I'm fucking normal? Okay.
Yeah. Or are you a he, him?
Yeah.
Jeez, I think so.
Good night, man. Yeah, my pronouns are shut the / fuck up. That's my pronoun.
Yeah.
Let's go. Brown is my pronoun, and FJB is my.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I demand that everybody out there respects what Rad just said and what Dak just said, and you better refer to them as such, and me too. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're good, man.
I'm not. Fuck them. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I know, right? So you were talking, if you don't mind me interrupting quick, Rad. You were. Was there a specific topic that you wanted to get my input on?
Oh, we're gonna just be all around, but I think the question is,
I'm all about that.
What are our thoughts about women that are creating red pill channel or pseudo red pill channels? Remember, there was Nola Girl back in the day. You remember Nola?
And then who started it? Wasn't it? Well, yeah, I don't remember that. But Roma Army started it, kind of.
I think.
Ask Successful Endeavors. He would know.
I don't know if that's when they started, but I do know that taking the points that we talk about and hijacking them, or to try to tell you a bold-faced lie so that you hear what they believe you want to hear because they listen and regurgitate. I think you said that earlier, Dak.
Yeah.
Dak, what people like us have already said. You guys have already said 100 times, but even better, yet they have like hundreds of thousands of followers and whatnot. And which followers isn't everything. It just doesn't make sense that people would want to listen to that when people like you guys or me have already been saying that for years back here on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, they see a set of tits.
Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't look good if I chopped my shit off and got wig.
Go ahead.
I ain't doing that just so I can get heard better. You know what I mean?
Come on. Scotty
Okay.
uses his feet.
I can be crazy, but I'm not fucking crazy, and there's a difference.
Well, I did get, I did start looking at a couple videos. Sandman mentioned these incels are becoming women, not because they feel like they're women, because they want to have leverage as being a woman. And within the last month, incels are becoming women because they can now get with a woman by being whatever the hell they become and getting in those spaces. So we live in some very interesting times, folks.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because this way they can turn it back on them in a lot of different ways. Number one, meeting a quota. Well, I'm a woman now, so here you go. You know what I mean? Because they're the protected class is what I'm saying. So an incel, for example, someone who can't get a woman no matter how much she's tried. Well, women have life easier, even if it's an average or below woman. So I'm going to change to woman, because then I can at least be average. Because right now people look at me like a piece of dog shit on the ground, pretty much. And what really sucks is I really do feel for these. And of course, hindsight's always 20/20. We are all close to similar age brackets here.
Yeah.
But I remember what it was like when I was growing up, and just to have a girl look at you and genuinely smile, it could almost make your whole day as a kid growing up. I felt elated. There's some guys out there, that have never had the touch of a woman, not just sexual, but just a gentle touch. It'll be okay, and a genuine smile. Some men out there have never even gotten to experience that.
I know.
You know what I mean?
That's what people ask me. Yeah, they say, well, what are you going to say? I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to say I miss women. I do. Like in the 80s, man, they were something else. Yeah. They were fun. I mean,
they were feminine.
Feminine. We did everything with them. We took them dirt biking. We took them fishing. We took everywhere, right?
And you could do that too, and they could still be feminine. Now, because a lot of the things that you guys are talking about, that's a lot of masculine shit. But that type of woman, she wouldn't give masculine energy. She just liked to do shit with you and be in your company, and she was still very much feminine.
And they wouldn't ask you for nothing. You know what I mean? They wouldn't ask you for a thing. Like,
dude, we had to meet the parents. I had to knock on doors.
Yeah,
we dated between 3 or 4 months before anything sexual even started.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? That's how it was when I was growing up. Nowadays, you better give it to me, bitch, because I got freaking to do.
Yeah, we had to meet the parents. I remember meeting the parents. Oh, fuck.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I had a girlfriend in high school, and she was a year younger. And every time I went to see her, I would always talk to her dad. His name was Roger. And he'd shake my hand. How you doing? And what's going on? And yeah, as you said, masculine and feminine traits were quite prevalent in the 80s. And I think it all started. Here's my theory. All of it changed when Oprah got big in the 80s.
Yeah, thank you. Bingo. Isn't that something? You're right.
Well, I think you might be onto something there.
I think, yeah.
I remember coming home as early marriage in the 97, 98, and she would always be watching Oprah. She loved Oprah.
Yeah, Oprah. Oh, yeah.
And she had quite, but the theme of Oprah, look at her, never been married, shacked up with a guy, beta male.
Yeah.
All the traits we say to steer away from. She's very masculine, and she's got a huge platform and voice with every color of woman in the United States. I think it started with Oprah, and with the increase of technology.
That's absolutely brilliant, and I agree.
Well, you guys also look at those charts that are very, very interesting when you see a lot of the things on the downward spiral ever since the smartphone came out in 2007.
Ooh, there's another one.
That was a game changer, because now that started making dating become global, and us guys, we can't compete with someone who's got 2x, 3 times what we got.
Exactly. Well,
and they're better looking, or they're taller, or they got a nicer thing.
Exactly.
I mean, we can't compete with that on a global scale. None of us can.
The women went to having a choice of between, let's say, I don't know how many in your class, 10 maybe, right? Let's just say this.
It was usually your community or through friends of a friend.
Yeah, exactly. So it's 10, 20 guys, right, at the most. Now, what, they probably have over, 2 million?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even and you guys know this too, even the most basic average, which there's nothing wrong with average, guys. The vast majority of this planet is average. Nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But even the average woman, she gets the same amount of attention as a male celebrity.
Yeah.
A male celebrity, it would take a male celebrity to get as much as the average woman does.
Yep.
Yeah. So would you say that the women like can't handle the attention properly? They can't deal with it properly? Would that be accurate?
Sure.
Well, that's definitely part of it, because we've all heard of the alpha widow thing, right? Where she's going to compare every other sexual encounter of a man based on what she was able to get that she had no business getting in the first place. But now she feels that she's entitled because she was able to sleep with that.
Okay. Yeah.
And the thing that sucks about that, which we all know, is ladies, tons of men wanting to fuck you is not a flex. There's nothing impressive about it. Yeah. All you got to do is say yes and walk somewhere and take a fucking bath, and someone's gonna want you. Okay.
Yeah.
You ain't got to do a damn thing other. And what the fuck? I was going somewhere with this. It was going to be very philosophical, and it would have changed your life. No, I'm just kidding. I forgot what I was saying.
Don't give up.
I hate when that shit happens, man. I just try to laugh it off though, because I think about it sometimes, and it's actually in the back of my mind, like, fuck, man, am I going to get dementia someday? Because these short-term things happen a little bit more frequently than I think they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got that.
How do you forget what you're talking about, why you're talking about whatever it was you were talking about? I don't know, but I seem to be good at it.
I don't know. You got that from combat, didn't you?
Well, getting a TBI probably didn't help.
Yeah, probably not.
Pops had a couple of those too, so I can only imagine what one did to me, what a couple or more is doing to him,
I don't know.
But you also don't see a lot of the after effects till maybe decades later. You don't know.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. Because you're putting your body in situations that's not fucking normal. It's not normal for people to want to kill you and blow you up every day.
No, it's not.
So we talk a lot about the delusion of women today, the heavy women that sleep with a decent looking man, and then she's entitled to all high value men, right? And that's what women are thinking. If you go on YouTube and you look at these shorts of these women that are dancing in front of and they have so many followers, the entitlement is so high, and guys are like, how do I compete with that? You can't compete with that. And when you can't compete with that, you can do three things. You can go anti-woman. You can try even harder by buying PUA courses and trying to figure out how to get a woman to like you.
Yeah.
Or you can just decide, this is the game I'm in, and if I can't get a return on investment with delusion, then there should be no reason for me playing with delusion. I gotta focus on myself, and then that leads us to the area of, oh my gosh, I don't want to be with a woman. They're too risky. They're too dangerous. There's too many false alligators. I'm lonely, right? Yeah. But they understand it conceptually, and men will run back to the plantation. They will run back even knowing everything, because loneliness is so damaging to them that they would rather take a bad contract with a woman than to sit in their house by themselves and plan.
Bingo. Yeah. Hey, D-Man. Sorry, guys. Hey, D-Man. He's shilling his heart out for us in here, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, D-Man.
Hey, Chad. How you guys doing, man? Good to see y'all. My bad. How you doing, Chad? When I get to talking, man, it's so hard for me to look at chat, too, sometimes, because I get fucking focused.
It is hard. It is hard running a stream, isn't it?
Does this live?
Brad does feel good, though. He'll get every freaking comment somehow.
Does that light bothering you guys above me?
No.
Okay.
You're okay.
I just don't remember it looking. It looks like foggy and shit.
Well, it does, but whatever.
Okay.
So how do you guys get rid of your loneliness or those?
Well, it was really, really hard. You brought up a lot of points, really good ones, Rad. And I think that it's not only because they don't want to be alone. They've been conditioned their whole life to believe that they have to have a woman to feel complete.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They still have that. I think they know what's going on in the back of their heads, but they jump back on because they still have the belief that that's still got to be possible. It has to be. They can't deal with the fact that the world's not the way that they thought, because we've all been there. We're just like, what the fuck? I was lied to about fucking everything, man. What the fuck?
Exactly.
You know, and it sucks coming to that. It's kind of like, let's take our age, for example, here, right? I'll be 44 this year. I can still do everything that I did when I was younger, but the efficiency is not there. It's just not. Now, we all know that's coming because we're men, we're forward thinkers, but you're not thinking about 44 when you're fucking 24. You're like, I'm 24. I'll deal with being 44 when I fucking turn 44. You're not thinking of long term, depending on where you're at in life. And even though you know it's coming, when you see it happening and feel it in real time, you're still not ready for it.
Yeah.
It frustrates the hell out of me. These are things that you start to feel in your 40s. You guys can correct me if you're wrong, but that's when I really started to feel that.
Yeah.
You know, the recovery rate, the
so did you have like Brad was just saying, did you ever like run into loneliness, and how did you handle
that? The loneliness. I'm sorry, I got off on a rant there.
Sorry.
So here's one good thing about my mind never shutting the fuck off. One good thing is that it keeps my mental busy thinking about so many things that I keep that in the back.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing and a curse, guys, because you never feel like your mind shuts off, which affects you physically too. It can't. But at the same time, it keeps you cognizant. It keeps you aware, maybe even hyper awareness. I'm not saying that too much of it's a good thing, but I am saying that if you're able to focus and your mind never shuts off, if you can keep those things out of it, the better you'll get. And I promise, guys, that when you feel lonely, because even I do it sometimes, I'll admit to you guys as a man, but it passes. By the next day, I'm good. I promise you it will pass. But you're going to have those days where it would be nice to have someone. It would be nice to chat and, you know, maybe have a drink and maybe have dinner here at the house and have a woman, you know, feel a woman's touch, man, because a woman's touch is a powerful thing. And those things are never going to leave. You're always going to be, have an attraction or an affinity, because there's nothing wrong with our biology. Like Rad says, there's nothing wrong with our biology. Okay. It's okay to lust and want after everything else. I get it. And sometimes I'll sit there and think, man, is this it? What am I really missing out there? Is there things going on if I put myself out there? Those thoughts are going to keep coming back. But almost every time I've ever done that, it just reinforces and proves why I don't do those things anymore. Because it's almost like being around a lot of other people saps my strength, my energy, and I got to recharge. I got to get the fuck back home. But I can be very extroverted and talk in crowds, no issues, if I need to. But obviously, hobbies are going to be a great thing to keep you going. But it's hard to figure out. It's hard to figure out a lot of that stuff if you don't really have an active hobby that you have. But maybe you could, I don't know, play some Dungeons and Dragons if you got kids or something. You can play some Warhammer 40K, some Monopoly, some Connect 4. Because Connect 4 and Uno are the best fucking games ever made.
I love Uno.
Love Uno.
Yeah.
Love Connect 4, and I used to love that game called Operation, where if you take your bones out, and
I got it.
You didn't.
Yeah. So
video games is another one, and exercising, guys, and it doesn't have to be combat sports. It doesn't have to be always running or always biking or always lifting weights. Plus, if you kind of can spread it around it's going to make it that much more fun for you, so that you don't get bored doing it.
Wow.
Like Brad, you probably love your hikes and your bike trails, man. As long as you stay active and do that, because not only are you going to have those thoughts of loneliness, but if you're not happy with the person looking back at you in the mirror, be it physically or anything else, it's going to be that much harder and that much more depressing, because it's going to add on top of what you're already dealing with. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
Yeah, here's a comment, like what you guys are talking about. Singletown says you can't switch your biology like a switch. And we're not, people say, and you guys have mentioned it. Yeah, having a lady is not something we don't want. We decided that having a lady provides too many risks versus rewards. And it's not, I don't think, there's a lot of folks that they go you don't talk to women, you don't deal with women, you do your own thing. But that's not our biology. We inherent in us is the desire to spread our seed. That's how we're programmed. And now how do we deal with it? We accept it. We're still attracted to women, but now we look at women with different lenses, and those lenses are, geez, if I try to get with her, multiple things could happen. Hey, I could be in love forever, which is quite rare, right?
Yeah.
she could get upset. The mommy switch turns off. The bitch switch turns on.
The mommy switch turns off.
She can keep the kids. She can take you to the cleaner. She can become someone you completely had no idea. So it's how do you want to play the game? Now, loneliness is all. What I said about loneliness is the fact that it's trying to reconcile in your mind what we were programmed to do, right? Get married, have kids, and so forth, versus the reality of what we know. That's the key. But people have said to me, "Hey, Rab, why don't you just go back? I'm just going to go back and test it again." And 6 months later, they're back in the forum, right?
They're back again. Yeah.
It's a simple.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hey, man, you got 77 in the chat. That's pretty good.
Hell yeah. Good
Get
job,
the
likes,
guys, likes. So like me and Rad were kind of talking a bit before we went on, and we were saying like all my friends and all his friends are all married. So, it's hard.
Very few of the people that I know, this is like my generation. So my dad's so old, he's not a boomer. My dad's from the silent fucking generation. That's how old my dad was. He was born in 42. But he passed in 2013. But I've also noticed as we age and have more experience, and I hate to fucking say this, guys, I really do, but our truth, I know it sounds fucking cringe. There is truth to saying that based on our experience, which would be our truth because that's what we lived. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But everybody wants to hijack those things that we talk about and fucking change it. I have less and less and less tolerance, guys, for any type of bullshit. It's like I just can't be bothered with most things anymore, guys. And I'm not saying it's a good place to be there, but it just seems like everything I've ever done is just exhausting, including women. I'm going to be honest with you guys. The moment that most women open their mouth, my mind shuts the fuck off. I just can't take it.
Yeah.
That's not a way to live life either, but
Exactly.
I just know how completely destroyed, almost and utterly completely destroyed I got by trying to pursue the natural biological imperative that we have. And that's not something your body and your mind and your finances, your spirituality, if you will, is not going to ever let you forget that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you like I said, and a lot of other people have said, obviously if it falls in my lap, I'm not going to be able to look at you guys and turn it down, but I'm also not actively out there looking for it and putting myself out.
No.
And the loneliness, guys, man, first of all, you guys do know in the chat, I hope that there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Okay. I can be alone. Men can be alone just fine. It's like Patrice O'Neill said, men want to be alone, but we don't want to be by ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I really agreed with that when he put it like that. Because
exactly.
I've also got to see what a healthy relationship worked. You guys know this. My mom and dad were married 42 years before dad passed. So not only were we programmed at our age through TV or through Disney or through the books we read or whatever, I actually got to live to see what a healthy relationship could be. So of course that's what I wanted. And by God, that did not work. And I'm not going to ever fucking try that shit again, man.
No.
You lose pieces of yourselves, guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you lose everything.
Your friends. I'm sure you guys have had this, especially Rad having kids, where it's never an issue for the kids to go to the in-law side, but by God, if you go to my parents' side, it's a fucking shit show. There's just, and then they'll isolate you because the more that you conform to what you think she wants to make her happy, which is another big lie that we were always told. But it's an honorable thing. There's nothing dishonorable about wanting to make the person you're with happy, right? But then it's never enough.
Definitely.
It's never enough. Okay. The average woman would bitch about getting handed $1 million because it was in 20s and not 100. So you just got $1 million. What the fuck are you bitching about? I don't care if it's in ones, man. I'll take that shit to the bank.
Exactly.
It's just never going to be enough. And you guys see all this everywhere. It's like, can I get that? These are the best examples I can think of would be like your Tom Brady's, your Brad Pitts, your Sylvester Stallone's, all those guys, rich, famous, good-looking dudes, at least in their primes and whatnot, and they can't make it work. So that you need to step back and be like, well, fuck, I can't provide nearly what that guy could ever do. But if a guy like that came to my woman, she's probably going to monkey branch and leave my ass in a heartbeat.
There he is. There's Scotty. Sorry, man. Scotty, I just made a comment about your feet a little while ago. So yeah, sorry. I don't know. The way I deal with it is like I'm kind of lucky. Like me and Red were talking about, like all my friends are all married, so it's like, you know, I get lonely. It's hard to call one of up and say, "Hey, come over," you know, because they got the kids.
Yes, the wife. Hold on, I got to ask the wife. Fuck that, man.
Which I don't care because I get along. My friends' wives are actually really cool people. They really, truly are. So, you know, whatever. But I got lucky as I met a young man who was working at a place where I used to work. Keenan, who's got a YouTube channel here, who's actually doing the restoration on my 1940 John Deere B. So I was lucky enough to, get that tractor going with him, and that kind of ended my loneliness. But when I was first lonely, like before all this, I went on the computer and I found this guy, and his name was Sandman. And I went from there. Found MGTOW. No more loneliness. You know what I mean? Started joining the live streams, meeting people. Some of the first people I ever met on here one of them was Successful Endeavors. Who else? Back then, I forget. Shinobi One, and guys like that. And then, decided to start a YouTube channel way back then when Vention was sadly passing away. And then it just went from there. And there was kind of no loneliness when you find MGTOW. You know what I'm saying?
Perfect. You're absolutely right. I mean, what you guys are talking about, the reality is this: you're going to be lonely when you're seeking companionship. If that's what you're seeking, that's what you're wanting deep down, that's what you're missing out, you're going to be lonely. It's the folks that have purpose, that are driven, they're doing their hobbies, they're doing something to improve themselves. You're not going to be lonely when you begin to realize that you're the captain of your plane. It's all the men that they still want that, because you know what? It's okay to want a woman in your life. It's okay to want to be married and have family, but it's not recommended today. Nope. It's not recommended for multiple reasons. And all these channels are about helping guys realize that, saying, look, you already tried it once. Why would you sign up for another bad contract? You're seeing all of your friends' parents get divorced. Now you have friends getting divorced. You're seeing that women don't commit as like they once did. You're seeing women becoming masculine, men are becoming feminine. You can't really say and do the things that you want. Why would you put all of your energy into something that you're not getting a return on investment from?
I get it. So I got a question for you. I understand totally. So you've obviously seen guys, and I've seen guys, and Father has seen guys that have been married 4 or 5 times. Mm-hmm. What's with that?
The fantasy is
what's with that? They're usually rich guys though, because they can afford it, right?
As to me,
but you want to grab him and say, "Listen to me, motherfucker."
I know, like, can you imagine 5 times? Like,
instead of getting married 4 times, you should have took the last 3 times that you did and give me the money, and I will invest it and I'll get you even more money, and that than you would be spending in those fucking 2 or 3 marriages, man.
Yeah.
God dang.
But
another example. And then the other opposite of the spectrum, too, guys, is that there's just some people that cannot be alone.
Yeah,
I guess
they can't be alone. No. I've seen people move on, weeks or even a month after like a spouse died and shit. It's like they cannot be alone.
Okay, I've seen that too.
There is those types of people too. Now I don't know how, because I'm not that way. Especially us Gen Xers, man. You don't want to fuck with us Gen Xers, man, because we had to learn a lot of shit the hard way.
Yeah.
Okay. And if we can't take you because you're youthful, trust me, you don't want old man strength. It's not called young man strength. All right. It's old man strength. Plus we got experiences that we can use that you guys don't think about as far as a weapon, even the playing field. So think twice before you try to take us. Think twice. I'm just fucking with you guys.
Yeah. But they always seem to be these older guys that got a lot of money. But
look at MGTOW Forever. For the guys that don't know, his mom was divorced 9 fucking times.
Oh, that's right too. That's right.
9 fucking times, dude. What kind of drugs were they on? I want them, dude.
Yeah, I remember Forever saying that. That's right too.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I just can't believe that shit. Well, shit. People like Pamela Anderson are on their like 7th or 8th, isn't she?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I watched the Pamela Anderson documentary. It's on Netflix. It's quite interesting. She at the very end, you know, she'd been through multiple marriages, but at the very end, she says, "I can't love anybody else except the father of my kids," which is Tommy Lee, the bad boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one that she wanted. That's the one that she still wants, but it wouldn't work. But that's the one out of all the men she's been with, the one that she wants to be with is the father of her children.
That's the alpha bucks right there. Alpha, right? That's not the beta bucks. And so that was interesting watching it when in the end, and they try to work it out a couple times. And she says, that was my only love and father of my kids. And she tried with all these men, but again, women, I wasn't my wife's first, right? Boyfriend, the guy that she loved. And we typically aren't. And once we know these things, we can realize that, you know, acceptance is key. We have to accept these things. That's the only way to move forward, or we're going to end up back on our 9th marriage.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And one of the best things I think I can do as a father too is that one of the best things I can think of is not just, and we've talked about this too, Rad, where when opportunities present themselves, you kind of try to bring it up nonchalantly to show examples of red pill knowledge. But one of the best things I think I can do as a father when I pass is leave fucking real estate for my son so they have a leg up when they start their life.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, not very many guys can do that. Let's be real, guys. The vast majority of all of us, the vast majority, not all of us, but the vast will never even know what it's like to own a home ownership.
Oh, exactly. And when your kids get to your age, it's going to be impossible for them to afford a home the way it's going.
Well, you're going to have what's called multi-generational families living under the same roof, because I saw it in Hawaii, because Hawaii's god-awful expensive. So you'd have multiple families in one fucking house just to try to survive.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I can't fucking do that shit. I'm like Rad. I can only deal with people, even my own kids.
Nobody in the Western culture. Nobody in the Western.
I gotta be like, look, just I love you, but you got to go away. Just go away for a bit. You know what I mean?
We're too Western culture to do that. But we have a bunch of like Chinese people. Who else does it here? Filipino people do it here. I'm not being racist. I'm just saying. I forget who else. A lot of Muslims do it here. They'll have 5 or 6 families living in one house, and they'll all work together. It's actually kind of brilliant. They'll all work together. They'll pay off that house, and then they'll go on to another one and do the same thing and do the same thing until one day they all have their own. It actually works.
Did you hear? I think there's a show about 4 single moms with their kids all moving into the same house.
Oh, yeah. There was something about that. What happened with that? It was a bad idea. Something went real bad.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's bad is having if you have more than one woman under a roof, you're ready for fucking chaos, dude. You can't have more than one woman under a roof.
They fight. I remember my ex-wife, sorry, when we were first kind of dating, she lived with 2 other women, and holy fuck, man, like they were gonna kill each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like they were talking about poisoning one of them.
Oh, they're vicious. I'm telling you guys, they're vicious because they know that they can't take you physically, so they're going to fuck with you in any other way that they can.
They'll poison.
And there's nothing off limits. We've already seen what it's like, where the woman you married is not the same motherfucker that you're divorcing, man. That's an enemy now. That's the problem, because they're coming for blood, motherfucker. And if you got a good heart, you're trying to do the right thing because you got good morals and beliefs. That's out the window on the other side. I promise you guys. They're not thinking about your best interest at all. They're not thinking about co-parenting with you. They're not thinking about sharing shit with you. And they're going to fucking listen to the lawyer. Hey, let's go ahead and add a certain charge. That gives us more leverage in the courtroom.
So I got a question for you guys. What happened to me was like, okay, we got divorced, and in Canada here, like, before the divorce, she walked out, right? So she was still responsible, even though she left, she was still responsible for half the mortgage. Okay. I didn't know this. And here's the stipulation. If she got me a renter, then she didn't have to pay. So at the time, she was getting me the shittiest renters in the world, right? They stole from me, ripped me off, all this stuff, right? For she didn't have to pay, because I had no idea that I could have refused the renters and she would have had to pay half the mortgage. Is it like that in the US?
Well, when the judge separated us, I had to move out.
Okay.
Typical, normal here. The woman stays in the house with the kids, which is in hindsight, it's a good thing. So you don't kill each other, really.
Yeah, I hear you.
Separate the high tensions. But women, for the most part, mine was supposed to. Well, she was in charge of all of her expenses, including the mortgage. So she got pretty much shafted. I didn't pay one dime to maintain.
Okay.
And she also had a full-time job, so that, things are different. But I'll tell you what, most women that are married, that have kids, that get divorced, believe that they do not have to follow a divorce decree. They believe that they are above anything the court has said. And that's why they will hold everything against you, because they think literally that they can get away with not following the divorce decree. But if you, Mr. Father, decide not to follow it, you're going to jail.
Yeah, you're going to jail.
Yeah, I went over my decree on my channel. So what Rad's saying is not lying. It shows everything that's supposed to happen. So if it's signed off by judges in a court, that's supposed to be fucking quote unquote gospel. This is the law now. So why is it, if my kids were living with me and they didn't want to go with their mom, how is that when on the other opposite end, like in my case, I can't drag my kids out to come see me and she's not making them come out. So she's already breaking the decree. But I also know, and forgive me for not having faith in the justice level, I know what it's like to have not one but two properties taken from me. So the fact that they did that at the beginning, what chance would I think I have to go back and fight to get more time, since they already destroyed me already? I have no faith trying to do it again.
They won't do anything. If you're in Canada or the US and you go and say, look, I've been following the divorce decree. I've been doing everything right. I show up 5 minutes early. I drop them off 5 minutes early, constantly being on time. My check is always on time, and they don't give a damn. But if that woman doesn't do, and if it's reversed, nothing happens to them.
Yeah. Well, then they'll tell you, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. This is a civil matter. I'm like, I have the decree signed by a judge. It's fucking law. Go get my kids. But I don't want to cause that shit. I don't want to put my kids in the middle of fucking chaos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's when you compartmentalize, like I talk about, because as fathers, there's going to be so much, especially those of you who got really, really shafted in court like I did. You're going to be thinking about so many things that could potentially be used against you. So it's like you're not even trying to fucking jaywalk, let alone anything else, because you will get the shaft because you got a dick and ball swinging. But I guarantee they'd get those kids out of my house being the dad. But if I were to do the same thing with her, they'd be like, what do you want me to do? Drag them out? Civil matter. So forgive me if I don't have faith to go back and try to fight more.
So how are you doing with all that stuff, Father, with all the gun ban and all that bullshit? How's that coming along?
Okay, so for me to get my weapon rights back, I have to do what's called getting my charges expunged. That's the court term to get my weapon rights back. So I've been trained on the Madus, which is the 50 cal live grenades, Mark 19 grenade launcher, flew in Blackhawks, was a 249 fucking squad automatic gunner, but I can't own a fucking pistol. Do you know how fucking stupid that sounds, motherfucker? I've been trained with every weapon. God forbid, man, I can't have a little poop here. But if you have domestic, even if it's a misdemeanor, here in Nebraska, you have to go back to court and get it expunged to get your gun rights back. So I still can't own a weapon. I have a Springfield XDS 45 caliber that's still at the police station. It's been there for 6 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, February 5th of last month was 6 years since my separation.
Yeah.
So it's already been 6 years now. There you go, man. That's sexy. Yep.
This is the baddest BB gun you'll ever see, boy.
Another thing that sucks too, and I think MGTOW forever put it in there, generally speaking, in an amicable divorce, which is almost unheard of, what you would do is you would sell the house and you guys would split the equity. So 50% of the profit would go to the wife, 50% would go to the husband. In a perfect world, that's how that would work if they don't want to stay in that house. Now, what I had to do is get my name off of the house because, yes, since my name's still on it as a, because my credit bought the house, if payments weren't made, they're going to come to your ass until it's in paper that you're no longer responsible and your name is taken off.
Yep.
That can happen on car notes, all of it.
Yep.
So you got to make sure when you're fighting for that, if you don't have possession, get your name off of that as quick as possible. And if your ex doesn't, you let the lawyers know, because then the lawyers will talk back and forth. Look, she needs to get this off now, or we're going back to court. Because God forbid you guys are trying to fucking live in some type of shack because 37% of your income's gone and you lost all your properties, but now I got to fucking worry about this other shit too. This is why when Terrence Popp says he's so shocked that there's no people waiting outside of courthouses for certain things to happen. Yeah. I'm surprised I don't see it either. But a good man is also a very dangerous man. We just choose not to do it. Okay. If you're a good man, oh, he's such a good guy. I think if you're a good man, you are capable of great evil. You just don't do it.
But they'll take you to a place, and I'm sure these guys can understand. They'll take you to a place where you got nothing to lose, man. And when a man has nothing to lose, that's the most dangerous motherfucker you'll ever want to run into.
Very, very. Oh, you're a monster. Oh, you should apologize. I'll apologize for being that when society apologizes for fucking bringing that out of me, because that wasn't me.
Yeah.
You know?
I say simps, really nice guys, simping types are the most dangerous men.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They are. They definitely are. Yeah.
So the interesting thing is, since women typically, or mothers, don't follow the court order, they and if you, let's just say you go to pick your kids up, but she makes an excuse that the kids are scared of you. So you call. This happened in my situation. So I called the Popo, and Popo showed up. Yep, sure enough, I've got my paperwork. Yep, today's your day. Let me go talk to her. Now and it comes back, 5 minutes later. Well, there's really nothing we can do. We're not in the business of extracting kids, and you need to go back to court. Money to go see your kids with the judge written off, and we think is gospel. Like if a man doesn't follow the court order, we get a little nervous and scared about what will happen to us. But a woman, I'm not going to do that. Now, here's another thing to remember: the judge's paycheck is the same payer that pays the Popo that shows up.
Yeah.
Think about network.
There you go.
The same county.
I know, but it's all set up like it's against us. It's like a setup, a total setup. Like everything, no matter what you do, it's not going to turn out,
No. And what sucks is you have the best intentions. It's like, I'm just trying to be a fucking dad. Let me be a dad.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Be a dad. If you don't give me fucking time with them, then how can I be a dad if I can't see them?
And you get punished for it. But that's where she comes in, because that's where she's starting, like Rad said, the false accusations, like, oh, the kids are scared of you. The kids are scared of them, lying to the court. The kids aren't scared of you.
No. And here's another thing. This is why I believe men are the most compassionate people ever. Because a man will do everything that he can do without trying to get the child involved in any way whatsoever, because we want our boys to fucking be boys. I don't want them dealing with big boy shit yet. I want them to enjoy being 12, 9, and 14, because they will never be 12, 9, and 14 again. So I try to do everything I do. I keep them in the back of my mind. Even though I'm justified doing or pursuing something, I always ask, how's it going to affect my kids? And the thing that sucks too, and here's the compassion part, guys, is that I'm not just doing that because I want to be a good father. I'm actually saving you, because when they get older, they're going to grow up to resent you because of everything that you said and did about me, and they're going to realize that that's not the truth.
Because I've seen so many fathers, because I've known a lot of divorced guys that never talk shit about the mother in front of the kid. Like they, you know what I mean? They never say, oh, she's a bitch and so. They never say it. But then you go to the mother's side, and then the mother just fills her head, oh, he's a rotten piece of garbage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, because I've heard it. I've heard it from my oldest.
Yeah, in the end, the kids are going to figure it out in the end. But that sucks, because you've missed that whole time, though. Kind of with them. You know what I mean?
And I'm trying to save their relationship too on her side, because the more they do that, the more distance he's going to make as he gets older. So if you think about it, it's not just me being selfish because I want to be a dad, which there's nothing selfish about. I'm the fucking dad. It's because in an indirect way, it'll save their relationship too, if they would just knock that shit off. And then my oldest son will tell me things that are said.
Yeah.
I look at my son and I say, son, I'm sorry that you have to be in the middle of that, because that's God awful. No kid should be in the middle of that.
No.
Yes, it gets my blood boiling. Yes, it gets me fucking heated. But I do everything I can to show my son that even though I'm emotionally compromised, I can still be logical and I can still be focused on what it is I got to get done. Because I know what it's like, guys. Because I used to get that shit, and like I'm kind of getting shaky right now just thinking about these things because it gets in my head about how the injustices that were done to me.
Yeah.
And it's a very dangerous place to be. Rad knows this. Anyone who's divorced, it can take a long time to get that shit out because all the time, all the investment, all the money, all the good times, all the things that you guys share together, it's just gone. It's gone. It doesn't matter. None of it. And you, as men, we're looking for returns on our investment, and then you have nothing. You have nothing, and it's just like that's what really, really fucking hurts. You know what I mean? Because I know. Here's another thing. Your wife cannot raise a boy to become a man. It's not fucking possible.
Correct.
Okay, it's not. They need to have a man, a father figure, to teach them what it's like out there as a man without trying to take their innocence, but letting them know too in sort of ways that, look, the world is fucking hard and it doesn't give a fuck about you. And once you come to those realizations, it sucks so hard, but you're going to be able to, I want my son, after I'm done, well, I'll never be done. But when they get out on their own, I want to know that I can look at myself in the mirror as a dad and say, I did everything I could to give him the best start that I could. Because as we get older, and my mom talked with me about it, guys, you don't want regret. You don't want to live with regret. It's the worst thing to live with.
I know, trust me.
Yeah. And my mom oftentimes, because I was a latchkey kid, those of you guys that don't know, mom and dad were already at work by the time I got up in the morning, and they weren't home when I got home from school. So I had to get myself up, my older brother up, all that stuff. Yeah, it's not, pat on the back. I thought it was normal. I didn't know that it wasn't normal. But I want to know that my son will be able to take care of himself, whether he's around me, if I'm an earshot or not. He's got it wherever he goes. That's what I want. So I teach him the things that I do because he can take those things with him wherever he goes.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, that's why we're here. These whole channels are built and set up to help men navigate post-divorce, pre-divorce, pre-marriage, to understand what men go through when they're dealing with kids and women that don't follow the decree and women that don't really want you in the life, even though you have 50-50 custody or some sort of custody. They still don't want your, your appearance and your structure within the kids. Now, here's another thing to remember. Women raise babies to be little boys. Men raise boys to become men, right? Yep. So it's important for a little boy to have a mother around. There's nothing wrong with that. But when that age, 6, that's when the man needs to be there because that boy's going to follow everything he sees with his father. Now, when single moms are raising boys today, they're following everything from a feminine, model, which is not taking responsibility, not taking accountability. Now, not for every mother that has raised a kid, and for those that have lost, the father in an accident and so forth, and become widows, that's a different story. But for the most part, women that raise boys turn these boys into effeminate, emotional.
LGBMZTUVUXYZ, and they start chopping off parts. Oh,
yeah. I watched Coach Greg Adams' channel. I haven't watched him for probably 6 weeks, but he said that African-American boys are the largest contingent of Skittles world, right?
Wow.
Because 75% of them were raised by single moms.
In the Black community, yeah, that's sad.
And another thing that you guys will notice is that the guys, it doesn't mean you can't turn it around. You absolutely can. Okay, you can. But it's going to take a lot of work because this is all you knew your whole life. So it's like building yourself up again. But those people that you're talking about too, Rad, they can't control their emotions, their outbursts, their tantrums, their whatever it is. They don't have that capacity to be cool, calm, collected, or to improvise, adapt, and overcome because they're emotionally compromised. And since they never got to learn how to deal with it from a man, they lash out and do all these fucking things, like go shoot people in the fucking head in the middle of daylight. They don't have that that control or that teaching on how to be in control, which took me years. I still don't have it perfect, but I know I'm a mile ahead of where I used to be, because I used to have a bad temper and this, that, and the other. Because when you go through the things that you go through in life, and we all of us have a story, so it's not like I'm trying to add a soppy thing like this happened to me and blah blah blah. Yeah. At some point, to piggyback off what I just said, you can't blame the parents anymore. They have to be responsible for their own actions. Well, where's the parents? Okay, I'll give you two things. If they're older than 18, you can't, even if you had a shit childhood, you are you now. You are not your past when it comes to something you had no control over because you couldn't choose the right parents, right? It doesn't work that way. But you can't say, oh, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me, and keep giving excuses for you doing fucked up shit. You have to take your own accountability. You can't say we're the parents. And if you do say, well, where's the parents at when they're younger? I do agree with you guys. I do. But if you try to be a parent nowadays and do discipline, you get CPS called on you. So what the fuck are you supposed to do, man?
Yeah.
The reality of you being a father and raising your kids with structure and responsibility is now considered toxic and evil, and possibly you can get locked up for it. I don't know if you guys have heard the story of a friend of mine. He was walking with his 13-year-old son, 15-year-old daughter, and 17-year-old daughter with the wife. They were in Disneyland, and the boy popped up. The dad said, "Hey, we want to make sure that we get there in the next 15 minutes." And the 13-year-old boy said, "Go F yourself, Dad. I'm not listening to you." So the dad went up to him and said, "Excuse me, son? We don't talk about that. That's disrespect, right?" And he grabbed him by the arm and, gave him a nice speaking to. This happened in Anaheim, California, by the way. Well, wow. He went and called the cops with his phone. The cops came and arrested him, the father, as he was trying to discipline his son out of the disrespect. Long story short, took about 1.5 years. And this father was cleared, cost him about $30,000. The sisters and the wife stood up for the dad and said, "No way, little Johnny was being disrespectful to his father." His father gave him a stern warning, and sure enough, they hauled him away. Why? Because the father doesn't have the ability to discipline his kids anymore. That's considered abuse.
Masculine.
It's abusive now.
Yeah, and abusive.
The way to raise your kids in the Skittles world is to raise them as friends and non-binary or whatever the hell they are. It's sick. It's sickening where the kids are today. I just watched a show about a mother and father that were raising their kids in a gender-neutral environment.
Wow.
Like they didn't label the child anything. They didn't give the child trucks if it was a boy or dollies because it was a girl. It was this. This is the world we're living in, folks. The 25-year-old kids of today were born by Gen X parents. Okay, I'm 50 years old and I got 2 kids in their 20s, and the Gen X parents are also conditioned. So, my sons are at that age, in early 20s, that are dating, and they're dating the same women they can't date, because all of these women that they want to date, number one, they're not millionaires at 21. Number one, they don't have, they don't have all of these experience and assets, and these women, they can't even date. And I said, wait till you're 30, then you can date the 18-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing too, guys. It's very, very, very dangerous that I don't think a lot of people think about. All these kids, the last stat, and I know stats can be fucked with, depending on. That's why I tried to do multiple sources and then make the best educated guess I can. But the fuck was I going to say?
Take your time.
I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me.
Just take your time.
God damn it.
Look what PH says. Kids are taught to disrespect fathers now. It is so true. It is so true.
Oh, guys, this is another thing that comes to loneliness, guys. A couple of them. If you guys have ever known yourself to not feel at home in your own home and you're constantly on eggshells, the relationship is over. Once you get to a point of what's called resentment, there is no saving that relationship, period, at all. End of story. There's no fixing it once you get to resentment. It's gone. It's done. It was probably done before that, but once you get there, it's inconceivable to think about it ever working again. Okay, so I want you guys to. When I used to get off work, I would sit in my driveway in my car, and I'm like, I do not want to go in here. I do not want to go inside.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for the next argument. I'm waiting for the next fight. I'm waiting to, after a 12-hour shift, go in there and not be able to fucking have a moment's peace, you know? So I'd have to sit there and kind of calm myself down before I get in, you know? Mm-hmm. And another good thing about if you have a healthy relationship, guys, and I've noticed this, right when either mom or dad walks in the door, never attack them with questions or this, that, and the other the second they walk in, because you're not going to get a very good response because they just want to come in. Give them 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah. Try to give them 15, 20 minutes to calm, and then go. I guarantee you'll get a better response because no one wants to be bombarded. Even if you had a shit day at work, the second you step foot in your door, Dad, or hey, honey, no one wants to hear that fucking shit. Right. Can you wait 15 minutes? Can I sit?
Women don't do that though.
No,
women don't start yelling out the door to tell you to get your ass out of the car in the house because there's a problem.
Yeah, and there's another thing I wanted to talk about that's kind of off topic. If you guys don't mind, do you? I don't want to overtalk you guys.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna dispel the 110% fucking myth. I'm getting tired when I hear people say I gave it 110%.
Okay.
You can't give more than 100%, guys. It's not possible.
No.
You can't. If I drink 100% of this fucking coffee, it's gone. This coffee can't give me 10% more coffee because I think it should.
You're right.
Okay. So, well, how do you explain when someone looks like they're just done and they come up and do this amazing thing because they never knew what their true 100% potential was yet? Maybe they were at 98, but you cannot give more than 100% of anything to anybody, not anywhere. So Stop saying I gave it 110% because it's not fucking possible. You gave it supposed to 100% as you did. Okay. So I just wanted to get that out there.
What about 150%?
Oh, yeah. I like the 120 ones. I gave it 120. I gave
if
it
you 120. Have a conjoined twin, I'll give you that one. If I had a conjoined twin, I'd take that. Right. Yeah. I'll take that one. But I mean, does that make sense? Once you give 100%, you have nothing. There's nothing left you can get out of that product or yourself. You just didn't know what your true 100% potential was.
Well, just like they say, okay, marriage is 50-50. Bullshit. If you don't each give 100, you're screwed.
Your wife has her stuff, and your stuff is also hers. You don't have any stuff. Never, ever, ever, ever get a joint account again with a woman ever, guys.
Ooh.
Okay? In a perfect world, when people supported each other, like I got to see with my mom and dad, it works because they have a healthy, good communication, good relationship. So they had a split account that they'd pay the bills with, and then they had their own account. Okay? That's the best way to do it. That's why I think joint accounts in a perfect world and a good relationship, they do work. But I'm telling you, don't do it now, guys. Just keep your own separate account and pay the bills from that account that's your half or whatever. And then you let her do whatever the hell she wants, because if she has access to her money and yours, your money's coming out first. She ain't touching her money. Okay.
The best way to avoid it though, like the late great Vincent Megtal used to say, and don't get married.
Don't get married. And especially don't get married to single moms like I did.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, don't do it.
Well, that's the whole story. It's not recommended anymore. It's really not. And men that think they can beat the system by being a better guy or giving a better experience to his wife is in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
Realizes that the dopamine. See, we got to understand. We got to go all the way back to what dopamine is. Dopamine is what fuels us.
Yeah.
And the three chemicals. It fuels us to take bad contracts. It fuels us to look at that single mom. Well, her ex-husband was abusive. Well, no, she's going to treat you exactly like she treated the ex-father. And we just have to understand it. It's not hard to say, hey, guys, we live in a world, a war zone with relationships, and relationships are landmines everywhere. You're not going to make it out of this rice paddy perfectly intact 100%. You're going to get a foot blown off. You're going to potentially lose your life. You might lose your vision or your hearing because a bomb went off. And it decide how you want to play the game. Mm-hmm. But know the rules. And the rules are this. you're not going to be first to her ever.
Yep. And there was two things. One, with the joint account guys, another reason why you don't do that is because when you do, not if, you get divorced, she will freeze that account and she'll empty it immediately. If you have your own account, she can't do that. Okay. If you do have a joint, which I did, and I was smart, the first thing I did, I want that account frozen, freeze that account.
Ooh.
So I was able to be ahead of that curve, but most men don't know that. I research everything, and and I talk to people, and I try to be a big sponge, even though I'm in my 40s and shit. I still try to learn.
Yeah.
Another thing, though, guys, that statistic from men from 18 to 36, only 30% of them are sexually active, something like that.
Really? What? 18 to
30? Yeah.
Okay.
From 13 to 36, only 30% of males have been sexually active in that age group. Now, if that stat is to be believed, guys, you guys know the fucking story about people will burn a fucking village down to feel its warmth. Seriously, because if a guy can't get access to women, no matter what he does or what he tries, he knows he's never going to own a fucking house because he can't afford the fucking mortgage.
Yeah.
If all these things are coming into play, he's going to be like, why the fuck am I doing anything for? That's another thing that ghost society comes from, because if a man loves to have purpose, he loves to have something that he's working towards. Okay. It doesn't matter what it is. You take all those things away, like the prospect of having a good family, the prospect of home ownership, all these things. Eventually they're going to be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about us when we were 18 to 36. Think about us being part of that statistic who's never had a woman's touch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the end all be all, guys. I'm not trying to say that everything with women is bad, because it's not, because there are some really awesome things, but in the end, that will mean nothing to her. It will still mean something to you, but it will not mean anything to her.
Anything to her. Not a thing. No.
So knowing all of this, why would somebody run back or want to continue to try in this modern day? It's because the fantasy is so much stronger in their mind than the reality.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Father, did you have any experience with marriage counselors at all?
Let me talk about that.
Yeah. That's why I asked. Because I think they're hard. Go ahead.
I think I went to 2.
Okay.
And I never went back.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I felt like I was the one being attacked.
That's what I was about to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
To have a really good therapist, they have to do what a judge does, and that is being impartial. You have to be impartial.
Yeah.
Okay. You take strengths and weaknesses and things you can work on from both. You don't just focus on one or the other. Because as you guys know, and Rad just said, and I'll get back to that, so remind me, Dak. Fuck. Hold on. God dang it, man.
I'm going again. How about you, Rad? Any marriage counseling?
Yes, went to marriage counseling. In fact, I was invited to the counselor that she picked out.
Okay.
She went for herself, and then so it was all done on her part, and then her counselor wanted to meet with me. Well, mine was different because, I had accepted my accountability, my responsibility. And the counselor that we were going to was a woman who was divorced twice with 3 kids, go figure. And she counseled all of these military families that military families have a high degree of infidelity. But here's the deal with counseling. A counselor is just a referee. One of you is going to leave as the winner and the loser. It's typically you, the man, are the loser. She's the winner. So you go back to the marital home and try to work on your marriage. If you get out of line, what is the wife going to say? You're not listening to Mary. Mary told you need to do these steps. You need to apologize. You need to be accountable. You need to treat me with respect and so forth. So every time you got out of line implementing these new techniques you learned, you also had a judge that was judging you, which would be your wife at the time. And so the next time we went back to marriage counseling, the wife would say, well, he didn't do what you recommended. He did this. This is the issue I got into, and so forth. And you know what? He's not listening. You need to talk to him more, which makes the loser again. Again, a counselor is just a referee.
Yeah. Yes. And another thing, I got a piece of paper here, guys. So if you see me moving, I'm going to have to start trying to write shit down. That way I can remember to fucking bring it up. because I hate talking over you guys. If I ever talk over anyone, it is not out of disrespect. I promise you. The only reason I do it is because I think I'm going to forget what I got to say. And I hate that about me because it's rude, in my opinion, to you guys because I'm just waiting for my chance to respond instead of listening to what you guys have to say.
All right, man.
So my bad.
You're a ball of excitement. We love you.
Oh, man. A therapist, here's my thing. I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm not saying don't try it. Okay. But how is someone from the outside going to fix what you guys are? Because they never see you on the inside, especially in your own environment. If you guys can't handle that yourselves, there's no outside source that's going to fix it for you.
Correct.
It's just by the time it gets to counseling, it's probably on the way out, guys, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, as soon as she says I need some space, those are the magic words right there. I need some space. That means you're
not happy.
That means you're going to get a lot of space real quick.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
They love to bring up the past. All women should be archaeologists.
Oh, yes. I agree. They can bring that shit up. But the thing is, guys, here's another thing, guys. Even if you get into an argument with your spouse and you're 100% right and you can prove it with empirical data, fuck even a picture, she will still not admit to you that she was wrong. She will say that she did that wrong thing because you did something.
I know.
Like, what? And then another thing I love.
It's narcissism, man.
Yes. Another thing I love is when they say, well, guys do it. You're not a fucking guy. Okay? It's not a flex. If you smoke, if you cuss, if you drink too much, if you're around guys all the time, that's not a flex. Guys don't want that. You want to know what guys want? Guys want a woman that other guys want but can't have and never have.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not attractive. Oh, look at all this. Look at this. Hundreds of messages. Okay. All those men will lay with you. How many can you get to stay with you? How about that, bitch?
Yeah, that's right, Frank. Sorry, gaslighting. Correct. Yes.
Thank you, out here. Oh, I haven't dated in 5 years. That didn't mean you fucking didn't ride 37 different cocks in that 5 years. You just couldn't get a relationship out of it. Don't fucking go there.
That's another thing I wanted to bring up. So all these passport bros, hey, go to a new country, but let's just say South American women, they are intimate at ages 11 and up. Yeah. So by the time they're 15, a lot of them are on their second kid. They've had multiple experiences. You are not finding a virgin in these countries.
No.
Just the family structure. They have 3 kids by the time they're 19. That's just how they run. So they're starting very early. There's no more unicorns in these countries. And I've always said, don't ever get with a native. When you're down there, don't get on Colombian Cupid. They're waiting for you. In fact, if you want to hook up with somebody, you get with another fellow traveler staying at your hostel or resort. You don't go native. They're waiting for you. Yep. Right?
Yep. To the chat, guys, I'm not ignoring you. I promise I'm not. I've seen some things being said in there. I don't know when I'm going to stream next. MGTOW Forever. I just did one, I think, last week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I think it was last week. It was like a 4-hour one. Yeah, oh, dude, I got tore up. You know
what? I got to check because this goddamn YouTube has been unsubbing me from a lot of you guys, man.
Yep, I got unsub to both of you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Because I should have seen your thing come up, Father. Because I always like to join your live streams, and I
can if you bear with me here, I'll pull it up since I got YouTube in the other tab here quick, and I'll be able to tell you.
I'll go through my subs again because I know. Can you make a comment in the chat real quick, and if I can do a quick check?
Give me 1 second here.
Because fuck, like every day, I lose 5 subs a day. I'm gonna bitch about something else too. So they monetize my ass, and then they take all my fucking views away. They take all my views away. I went from thousands of views to like 200 or 300. Figure that one out. And then my sub count, no matter what, will not go over 6,500. It goes to 6,503. Then the next day, bam, it's down like 6 subs.
Dude,
right?
do you remember, Dak, when you were getting like 50,000 fucking views on your shit when you first started, man?
I had 100,000. I
was like, holy shit, dude, he's got 50,000
I had 200,000 views, man.
Wow, dude. That was crazy, man. That was fucking crazy.
But I'm shutting down my monetization. Like when I stream again, don't give me super chats because I never see them. I never see that money ever.
Wow.
Because you have to make $100. If you don't make $100, they don't pay you. So if I make like $60 off ads and stuff like that, which I don't, they just keep the $60. I haven't seen one penny in 8 months, not one
Holy
cent.
Shit. Do you have like a Cash App there in Canada?
Well, the PayPal, but everybody hates PayPal.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I stopped doing PayPal. Here's why. The reason why a lot of people stopped, I can't get it off my banner. I haven't figured that out yet because I have something that says want to donate. Don't donate to PayPal for me. Those of you guys that do, just use Cash App.
Yeah, I wish I had Cash App. Trudeau,
they took it off, Dak, but what PayPal was going to PayPal was going to start charging you $1,500 for like wrong think or whatever the fuck it was. They were going to start taking money out of your account. It didn't go through, but the fact that was even entertained as a bullet in a meeting means that they were thinking about doing it. So that's why a lot of people got away from PayPal.
Yeah, no, but just as long as everybody knows, I don't have a problem with PayPal. I always got your guys' donations every time. There was no problem. I wish we had Cash App up here. I can't even donate to you because Trudeau took Cash App out of here because of the truckers.
God, what a piece of fucking shit.
I know. I can't donate. Like, if you got Cash App, Father, I can't even donate to you no matter what. It won't let me on my phone, my computer.
This is why we can't have nice things, and this is why Rad and I don't have any fucking hair. It's because of shit like this. God dang it. It just wants to fall out because you can't believe how fucking dumb shit is.
Yeah.
Well, pretty soon you won't even be able to donate by your credit card because they'll already have algorithms built in that based on who we are. And we're talking.
I don't know. Just as everybody knows, I've never had a problem with Cash App. You could donate to my Cash App. I'll always get it. No problem. I just want to grab a comment here. Maybe a member. The D-Man says maybe a members area ? I don't know because I really wouldn't know how to run that. You know what I mean? Like extra stuff. I don't really have much of a life. So,
I like this head here, guys. See that? America. Not America, just fucking America.
Well, I'm under communist rule right now. So,
yeah. Man, I couldn't believe that too, Dak, because from everything that I was watching on that, those truckers went out of their way, and they even had bouncy gyms for the kids. They were having food for
it was peaceful. Other. It was so peaceful. Did you see what happened? It was so peaceful, but then the cops, your CMP, went and planted all those guns.
Oh, they planted that shit?
Oh, yeah.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Yeah, didn't they also pass an ordinance where you get fined if you sound your fucking horn?
Yeah.
Wow.
Talking about communism, man.
Well, I couldn't honk. I couldn't honk at the pedestrian to let him know I was coming because it's illegal. So so I ran the fucker over. I couldn't honk.
Thanks, D-Man. I appreciate that, man.
There you go, MGTOW forever. Nope, you're a Nazi. Card declined. You're a fucking straight white male. Fuck you. Your money's not good here.
But he was shutting bank accounts of truckers down.
That's scary shit, guys, because my bank, it used to be First National way back in the day, but the bank that I bank at, I've been there since 1989. I should probably take my shit out of Wells Fargo and go to USAA because I'm military, and that's the military bank. The only reason I haven't done it yet is because there's no physical USAA bank anywhere close to me.
Yeah.
But I am going to look into that.
I'm still looking for an American to adopt me, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I'm going to adopt you, and this is my son. Can't you see the resemblance?
Yeah. You must have had him when you were 6.
Yeah. I'm actually 67. I just age really well.
Yeah, I'm actually 26. It was the drugs.
I've been 25 for fucking 18 years now. Yeah. So I'm like, my math's all fucked up. You guys get it. My mind's not. I still hope I am the way that I am, and I have my sense of humor 20 years from now because I love it. I love being a dad. I love making my son laugh. I love being fucking goofy. Because it's fucking awesome. Because I'm weird. Weird is just a code name for fucking awesome.
Weird's okay. We all weird. We all crazy.
There's nothing wrong with being an individual.
Absolutely not. I'm having a good time, man. Thanks for inviting me, Rad and Dak. And I'm glad you showed up too. This is like old time, guys. We haven't done this since Halloween 21.
It's been a year. Yeah, I'm just so thankful for the MGTOW community, man. All these guys in the chat, you know, just awesome people, man. Couldn't ask for better people. Definitely. You know, most of you guys are all Americans, so I'm outnumbered, but
yeah. I know. What the hell is that all about?
I don't know. But you guys are awesome, man. Thank you.
So you guys know too. So my last stream was 8 days ago. Sometimes I go months at a time. I'm doing good. I am. If there's something going on, I'll probably reach out to one of you guys. Rad, we've talked before. Yeah. I have no problems letting people know something's going on. It's just I don't know what it is, but whenever something's going really, really good, I'm just waiting for a fuck up to happen.
Yeah.
So that I distance myself from things. I know it's not a healthy way to think, but like having fun on the streams, this, that, and the other. There has been a couple of drama spouts and people not getting along and whatnot. And I just I hate that shit because I don't debate because it's a waste of fucking time to me. I will talk with you, but I don't do debates.
Yeah.
Not just because I would suck at it, just because
I don't do debates either.
Energy in there.
I won't do a debate. No, I don't debate.
Sometimes if you guys don't see me on, I do ninja watch on a lot of different shit.
Lisa.
But Lisa. When I did my stream 8 days ago, I couldn't believe it. 24 of you guys showed up. I was like, holy fuck. Yeah. I've been gone for fucking months. Hey, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Then I must have said something that was fucking gay as hell because then 7 dropped off right when I said it.
This is brilliant what Lisa says. So guess what, guys? I now identify as American. How's that?
There you go.
I'm done.
There you go.
I'll just go to the border. I'm American.
Hey, don't all men identify as women trapped in males' bodies? Aren't we all lesbians in males' bodies? That used to be the joke when I grew up. Lesbian trapped in a male's body.
Okay. Yeah.
We used to say that in high school all the time. Well,
we used to say we're getting in touch with our feminine side.
Yeah.
That was something that used to be said all the time.
Yeah.
And every single time, guys, too, whenever a woman tries to tell you what they're looking for in a man, do the exact opposite.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I was one of those people that was an emotional fucking tampon because I was easy to talk to. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm everything you're saying that you want, but you're not with me. You're old fucking this dude over here. So something doesn't fucking make sense here.
I'm looking for a nice guy that likes camping. And dogs.
Well, if you don't like dogs, you're not allowed in my house. Go away.
Yeah, same here. I love dogs. Don't get me wrong.
Don't be scared because it's a big fucking dog. It's a Saint Bernard, but trust me, she won't hurt you.
I know. We see your dog. You got the little guy and the big one.
Yeah,
I had Shih Tzus all my life. Little Shih Tzus, great dogs, smart.
Well, you know, I'm glad you guys could show up today. We did this a year and 3 months ago. Well, let's shut it down the next 15 minutes. I know we got a lot of stuff going on today, but one last message we leave to the men. What is it?
Stay MGTOW. That's all I'm saying.
I've never claimed, you guys have never heard me claim MGTOW or anything like that, but I agree with its tenets. Okay. I think there's a lot of similarities between being MGTOW and basically confirmed bachelor. I think there's a lot of similarities there. Obviously do not let your, like Hammerhand says, don't let your biology control you. That's your emotions. That's your penis. That's everything. Okay. Yeah. It's so hard to do. You have to let go of control in order to get control. And I know that doesn't make sense. But once you figure that out, you're going to be so much better and you're going to have a little bit more weight off your shoulders because you know that you can't do anything. But what do I have control? I have control how I can react to it. I have control of what I can do only in my realm. You know, and that's hard to do because as men, we have a certain process that we do that we know that works. And that gets prevented because of other people. I have to let that go because I can't make things happen outside of myself. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That would be my message. It will. The best quote that I've ever came up with, it's mine. I coined it. So if you guys use it, I want royalties. Eventually things get better. It's the eventual part that sucks.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Right on. One more quick thing, guys, just in case you don't know, our brother in arms, Hammerhand, got his second strike. He should be back here March 8th. So look for him then. Just so you guys know. Everybody's been asking me, where's Hammer? Where's Hammer? He got in trouble again, but we'll see him March 8th.
Awesome.
To my knowledge.
That's great. You said that. See, MGTOW is a protection for all men, combined with monk mode, and only focus on your health and your money.
Oh, yeah. and if you guys, those of you who are able to do that along with MGTOW, and I know it's fucking almost impossible for the most people. God dang it.
There it went again.
Hold on, guys.
MGTOW Forever says I learn from the best. All right, on.
I can't. I'm sorry, guys. I fucking forgot again. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Well, you said something, that was one of my favorite philosophers saying, you give up control to gain control, right?
Oh, someone actually did coin that.
Yeah, Alan Watts.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought I was being original. Well, fuck me.
No,
too bad.
You know what? I mean, Alan Watts talked about that. The Buddha talked about that. Basically, if you can't control it, you don't own it, right? And we can only control ourselves. We can't control what our ex-wives, our girlfriends, women do. We can't even control our kids to a certain extent, how they think and how
that Alan Watts, he must have been through some shit to come up with that quote.
Oh yeah.
He died in 1971. His voice has been sampled. I know you've heard him. Alan Watts, Watts.
Oh yeah.
Great philosopher. What's interesting about him, he had about 4 or 5 marriages, but every time he gave a lecture, he lectured on the Tao Ching or something like that, as well as Buddha and a couple other philosophers. And every time he gave a lecture, he was drunk as a skunk, but you could never tell. And so, but he's got a lot of wisdom. He talks about, ships don't come in over a rough sea. They come in over a calm shore, which is the same as saying you can't solve any issues or problems if you're all in your emotion, your head, your anger, right? You've got to be calm. And Father Saunders had mentioned that earlier. We've got to keep our emotions outside of it, because that's the rough sea. If we're trying to solve problems with our emotions, we already tried it being married. Doesn't work. So that's kind of what I wanted to say. I want to appreciate you guys being here.
Can I add one thing?
Sure.
I just remembered when we were talking about like body counts and whatnot, like in high school and what they have. And I was talking about, guys do it all the time. And then I talked about smoking, drinking, cussing. Okay, it's kind of coming back now. A man can sleep with 50 different women and still be loyal to one and make it work. I promise you they can, because it does not affect men like it does women. If a woman sleeps, I'd say more than 6 or 7, her ability to pair bond, because she's a woman, is destroyed. Men don't have that. Men can also not be man whores. We're just men, because all it takes is one fucking jerk off and you could impregnate almost every woman out of one fucking thing. Okay, eating the seeds of life. That's something that just on that premise alone, a woman has to carry to term for 9 months and whatnot. That's what she's biologically built for. Men are the ones who spread the seed. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying go do that, guys. But I am telling you that a guy can sleep with multiple women and still be loyal and loving to one.
Yeah. Well said.
All right, guys. Have a great day. We'll see everybody in the next live stream. You guys have any live streams coming up?
I should. Yeah, I really should. I should.
Dak, I think you definitely should, Dak. I think people enjoy it.
I've been out for like 8 months, so I'll plan for next week.
All right, guys. Have a good
with me, you never know. It's usually fucking impromptu.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right. Hey, you guys have a great day. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
See you guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
That was good.